Welcome back, everybody. Today, I will be presenting to you the case that Radagon is Marika isn't really the truth, but necessarily not a lie, right? It is a half truth and a half lie. Or, as Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, the truth from a certain point of view. And that's today. Hopefully, today, after the video's done and you've listened to all the evidence I will present to you, that you either question the statement or you're in the same boat as I am, believing it. So let's begin. Let's start with the Second Lyurnian War, when Radagon takes his first step into history. In that war, it was a stalemate, and people believe that Radagon was actually Marika in disguise, posing as him. But I would tell you no, because the idea that if you're Marika and you're watching your soldiers die and grind against a nearly immovable object, which is the Lyurnian, the Carians and their knights and their soldiers, I suppose. If you were the powerful eternal Queen Marika, why would you stay as Radagon? Why would you not reveal yourself in the first place and win? Use your power that you supposedly had, the power that you had to help defeat the fire giants, help your intelligence that you used to, outsmart the Glowmite Queen. All this stuff doesn't make any sense. Why do all that when you could just take over? And if you're thinking it's because of the marriage, it was supposed to cause like some internal strife in the land and stuff, that doesn't make any sense either. Because when you're as powerful as Marika supposedly is, and your armies are as good as they are, and you've taken over everything, it makes no sense to gimp yourself. Why not go 100% into it? Unless Radagon was not Marika at all, right? So there was the power discrepancy there at the Second Lyurnian War, and then the whole marriage thing. So that's the reason number one that I believe that Radagon is not Marika. Okay, so if we do a time skip, which we have to because there's not much information of what Radagon was actually doing when he was king consort of Liurnia, right? Except, sure, you could bring up the preceptor's mask, right? And say, oh, it says that, things were going to be kept secret. Well, they're kept secret. We don't know what happened, though. We can't use that as a basis for something tangible, right? That's for high speculation, high theories of fantastical things. Radagon could have revealed himself to be, the fell giant. Look at me, I'm actually a fell giant who's actually pretending to be Marika. No, I mean, it could be anything. We don't know what really was happening behind there, right? So we're just gonna put that in its own pile of stuff that, okay, we don't know what happened. Let's go on to the next thing that we do know that happened. That when Radagon became Elden Lord, he dyed his hair. His hair changed from red to gold. He used the Alarvaltir, a mimic, or whatever, to change his hair color to match his status. Now he wasn't just a king consort of, some western land. No, he was Elden Lord of all the lands. And instead of having to deal with his red hair that he hated, he changed it to gold. Marika must have found this unnerving because her new husband was like taking on her features, right? And you could almost say she was kind of alone in the capital by herself. Godfrey was gone. Mesmer's off fighting a war in what would later become the Shadowlands. Well, who was there? Who was there to protect her? Some of her other children, perhaps? And then as he was becoming her, he was gaining power because he was becoming Marika, right? So let's look at things this way. Look at it this way. So you're Radagon. You're slowly becoming a god. And in becoming the genuine article, as we know, it's a critical thing in this world. It's a fundamental thing that copies become the genuine article, right? You start to look around who's out there that can, stop you from being a god, stop you from taking over completely. There's Mesmer. He's got the abyssal serpent. He's got the flame that could kill you. This dangerous stuff. Well, now that you have the power, you lock him away. Oh, okay. One problem solved. You just locked away the whole land. Nobody can become a god now. You will inherit the Elden Ring when you become Marika. You don't have to worry about the gates of divinity. You don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Nothing's going to stop you. Mesmer's stopped. His whole army is stopped. Who's left? The golden lineage. Oh, you got Godwin. Assassination. Dead. And the other ones? Oh, the mausoleums? Oh, they need bodies. But, the mausoleums probably came after the bodies. Dead. So who's all left? Who's left but your lineage? Those children of your blood. Right? You have Ronnie, Rykard, and Radagon. And then later, you have Millennia and Mikla. Okay, but before we get into that, let's finish off killing off the old blood, the tainted blood, the blood that we don't want to continue. Because you're Radagon. Think like Radagon. You've made sure that your progeny continue. It will carry on. And Godfrey's, they're done for, right? But then something happens. Marika breaks the Elden Ring. And this brings us to the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer. In this trailer, we have to realize that the dialogue does not fit the imagery that was being shown to us. They're two different things. What we see is Radagon, not Marika, climbing the steps to the Gate of Divinity. Because with the Elden Ring being shattered, he can no longer just become a god, the god, like Marika was. No, he's got to go. He's got to go to the Gates of Divinity. He's got to go be a god now. So he travels to the Shadowlands. And we know there's multiple ways to get to the Shadowlands because, Godwin's Knights are there. Devonia is there. There's multiple ways to get to the Shadowlands. All right. And I don't know what those ways are, but if you think critically of the Shadowlands, there's people there that shouldn't be there when it was thrown out, right? So, or not thrown out, but veiled or whatever you want to call it. So in that trailer, we see Radagon going up the steps of, the Gates of Divinity. But you're probably going to say, that's not Radagon, that's Marika. What we're seeing is Marika. And I tell you, no. Because if you look closely, the figure, kind of masculine, slightly masculine, sure. Because, and the way we know it's slightly masculine, because it's kind of V-shaped. Marika doesn't have that V shape. It's kind of wide back, big back, not big back, but also, there's also a telling sign. There's two telling signs that it's Radagon. One, because the person is topless. Marika is never depicted as topless anywhere. One. Two is because we know it's Radagon because we know Radagon has delicate features. If we look at his painting, he has a soft jaw, a weak jaw, you guess. He's got small hands. You know, he's very feminine looking. You could say he's got feminine features. So so there's 2 points there that tell me that that's Radagon with golden hair, because he's already Elden Lord. And since the Elden Ring was already broken, he had to travel to the Shadowlands and go through the gates of divinity, or something at the gates of divinity, to become the god that he was denied because Marika broke the Elden Ring. All right, so that brings us to the next step. When Radagon comes back from the gates of divinity, okay, he's posing as Marika because the world believes, Marika is the one, the god of the age of the Elden Ring, right? So if he has to pose as her to keep his empire, because despite all his power that he's probably gained, he wouldn't be able to hold an entire society together. It's something that it's already been built. He's got to hold it together. And so he poses as Marika. And we know that he poses as her in speeches, in the spoken echoes of Marika that we hear from Melina.
In Marika's own words, I declare mine intent to search the depths of the Golden Order through understanding of the proper way. Our faith, our grace is increased. Those blissful early days of blind belief are long past. My comrades, why must ye falter?
Okay, so we know this is not Marika for several reasons. Why? Because Marika wouldn't doubt the power of the Elden Ring, wouldn't doubt the power of the Greater Will, wouldn't doubt the power of the Erd Tree, right? Only a person who is new to the power, is learning about it as they grow in power, would question these things. If Marika has already been a god for quite a while now, she already knows all of these things, right? But Radagon doesn't. Radagon doesn't know these things, right? So you got to search. You got to search the depths of the Golden Order. You got to make the Golden Order. And we know that he started it because we can see the influences from his marriage with Rennala. Fundamentalist spells require intellect and faith, right? So he's taking over. Another thing that we know that he's taking over and Marika doesn't want him to, or doesn't have the power to stop him at this point, is when we hear the dialogue where she calls him a Leo hound. It's mocking him. She's telling him that you'll never be me, even if you are me, even if you become me, you will never have my spirit. You will never be the real Marika. She thinks, she believes, and perhaps it was true. Which brings us to another point in this theory. We know that Marika broke the Elden Ring. We see it in the cutscenes. We see it in the intro of the game. But once again, we're being led to believe that Radagon's trying to repair the Elden Ring was occurring at the same time. You see what I mean? It's being presented to us as a conflict happening as each time the hammer falls, right? But it's not that. If we look at the announcement trailer for Elden Ring, we see that this is happening, right? We see Radagon, we see Marika every time it hits. But the thing is that every time we see this white flash, a flash of white light. And we know, if you've played FromSoft games before, that white light means time travel. It means the passage of time. It means that this occurred at 2 different points of time. We see Radagon trying to repair the Elden Ring, and then it flashes back to showing us Marika breaking the Elden Ring. And then back to Radagon. And we know that's true because of the white flash of light. That's the telltale sign. That's FromSoft telling us this did not occur simultaneously. This was at 2 different points in history. So you got that. We got Inya's dialogue that Marika's, breaking the Elden Ring needed to be a punishment, right? But why would they punish Radagon for trying to fix it? Unless his punishment was for his failure in fixing it. Because now we get to the end of this. Now I will give you definitive proof that there is two bodies. Radagon, who can pose as Marika, who was becoming Marika, and then there's Marika herself. So at the end of the game, we see Marika crucified, and when the rune arc breaks and she lands, we see that it wasn't Marika at all. It was Radagon. And then we face Radagon. And when we kill Radagon, the Elden Beast, the Elden Ring, takes Radagon's body and turns it into a sword. And when we kill the Elden Beast, we finally see the true Marika, what's left of her. The Marika that was crucified, that was punished, that was killed for her crimes. We see what's left. Just this husk, this hollow. She was there the whole time. Dead. She had been killed. Regardless, she's still a vessel. And a vessel needs a Lord's soul. So what I'm trying to say is that Marika can't be a sword and then be a body at the same time. The body got destroyed. Right? Doesn't make any sense. So the only thing that makes sense is that Radagon, who can change into Marika, became the sword, while Marika herself was dead and probably hidden. We know things can be magically hidden in the world. So if you say, oh, I didn't see her in the fighting arena, she was probably there. She's probably invisible, the same way that Shadowlands is invisible, the same way that Evergels are invisible. But when that power broke, it was revealed to us what really happened. What was the real fate of Queen Marika, the Eternal? That she had been killed. But there you go. That is the theory, ladies and gentlemen, that Radagon became Marika somehow through the Great Rune of the Unborn, through a Mimic Tear, Larva Tear. Somehow, at one point, he became Marika and was able to pose as her in public, and then systematically took over by eliminating those closest to her, by eliminating Mesmer, eliminating Godwyn, the Golden Lineage, starting a new religion where he himself was the god instead of worshiping the Earth Tree. All these things. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. But I believe it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and to everyone that got to this point in the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be here. I'll read them. Thank you.